all the Dallas people. So let me introduce Kathleen Wu. There's a really short snippet of her bio in the program booklet, but I really felt that that didn't address who she is and what she's done for the community. Kathleen's practice is concentrated in the areas of real estate, finance, and business transactions. Her broad-based representation includes all aspects of the acquisition, management, and disposition of real estate in the origination and servicing of loans, hospitality, industry matters, public-private partnerships, and general business matters. You can ask me more on that later. But most recently, Kathleen was selected as one of the 30 extraordinary women in Texas law by Texas Lawyer magazine. Additionally, she was recognized as one of DFW's most influential women in the Dallas Business Journal's inaugural Women in Business Awards program. She has also been selected to the most powerful and influential women in Texas, listed by Texas Diversity magazine, as well as being recognized. She's not an overachiever, as well as being recognized as a member of the 2007 edition of Law Dragon 500 Leading Lawyers in America, and one of the top real estate lawyers in Texas on several occasions. In 2003 to 2011, Texas Monthly Magazine named Kathleen a Texas super lawyer, and D Magazine named Kathleen as one of the best lawyers in Dallas. In addition, in 2003, Texas Lawyer named Kathleen as one of the top 6 go-to real estate lawyers in the state. And if that isn't enough, Kathleen is also a speaker and author on multiple issues affecting women in the workplace, including articles in the National Law Journal, Texas Lawyer, Lawyers Network, and Legal Times. And most recently, she served as a career expert in the book All Moms Work, Short-Term Career Strategies for Long-Range Success. One of her articles was featured on the WSJ, Wall Street Journal's law blog, and she was the guest on the Legal Broadcast Network. In 2006 and 2005, she was nominated as a finalist for the Association of Women's Journalists Vivian Castleberry Award for her work with such publications. Additionally, she is a 2007 recipient of the Women of Spirit Award from the American Jewish Congress, and the 2000 recipient of Justice David Wellington Cheer Award from the Asian Pacific intersection of the State Bar of Texas. In 2006, she was awarded the prestigious Louis B. Raggio Award by the Dallas Women Lawyers Association. And in 2005, she was awarded the highest achievement in the law award from the Asian American Chamber of Commerce. She has also served as a commentator for NPR Dallas affiliate and is very active and participates in a variety of local, charitable, and civic organizations. So if I can get a big round of applause for Kathleen Wu.
Thank you very much. Okay. Hopefully this is working well enough. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me here. Thank you, Jadad. I appreciate your coming out here on a Saturday afternoon. As a working parent, I know how precious weekends are, so I understand quite a bit of juggling, rearranging of schedules that might have gone into place before you could have actually been here today. I also know how valuable events like this can be for those of us who want to get the most we can out of our careers. It's nice to get away from our routine and spend a few hours thinking about what we want to be when we grow up, and looking at our daily lives to see if we're really fulfilling and living our personal mission statements. It's nice to meet others like us and maybe make some connections along the way that might be helpful down the road, or maybe we can be that helpful connection to somebody else. And that's really the secret to professional success, isn't it? Being incredibly proficient in our jobs, getting to know others who might be able to help us, and when the time comes, helping others. And if you're here today, chances are you're already doing all these things. So congratulations. You now know everything there is to know about how to grow your career, you're really good at your job, and know lots of people. Of course, we're not going to let you get off that easy. However, I do know you're probably heading into that afternoon post-lunch slump, so hopefully on your way out you can grab one of the Andrews Curve coffee mugs and Starbucks coffee that I brought that's sitting outside these doors. I was asked to come here today, as you guys said, to tell you how I made it, which is of course fairly uncomfortable, because that means I have to admit that I'm successful, dissect how that happened, and then tell you all how I did it. But the truth is, by any measure, I'm doing well professionally. I'm a partner at a large law firm with a stable of loyal clients. And I've worked hard to get there. I gave up a lot of nights and weekends, missed school plays, missed tennis matches, and I probably didn't get as much sleep or exercise as I should have. But if you grew up in a house like I did, and since we're a gathering of Asian American professionals, let's face it, my parents didn't have much patience. Okay, no patience for one. I worked hard at school, then I worked hard in college, then I killed myself in law school, then I killed myself again as a young associate in a large law firm, and now I'm working extremely hard as a partner in a law firm. Anybody who tells you that hard work and long hours aren't the price of entry is a liar. But anybody who tells you the sacrifice isn't worth it is also a liar. You should already all know that though, don't you? Because no one's ever accused Asian Americans of being lazy. Where I think we fall down on the job though, and I'm not saying all of you, but some of you, is that we aren't particularly good at self-promotion. We like to think that the work should stand for itself and that our talent will be noticed and rewarded. Well, sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. When we were in school, it usually was, and everyone in this room probably thrived in the academic environment. Hard work equaled great grades, which equaled success in the classroom. The Tiger Mom's recipe for parenting certainly works as far as creating stellar students. But now we're in the real world, and now we have to admit that it just isn't hard work that gets you ahead. It's speaking up. It's knowing the right people. It's getting those people to notice your work. So I'm not going to tell you to work hard. You already all do that, I'm sure. I want to talk to you about getting noticed, and that's something Asian Americans aren't always comfortable with. You'd be hard-pressed to name me an Asian pop star, besides maybe that guy in the Black Eyed Peas, but I can't remember his name anyhow, which says something, or an A-list celebrity. It's not because we're not talented, but as a culture, we're uncomfortable with self-promotion. Most Asians don't have the look at me gene. All in all, I guess it hasn't hurt us. By most indicators, such as income and education, Asian Americans do better than every other racial group in the entire United States, including Caucasians. And our Asian lack of showmanship is part and parcel of what has made us, to a certain extent, so successful in this country. Our parents instilled in us a mantra of hard work, education, self-discipline. Those things in and of themselves are reward enough, we were taught. They honor our families, they bring great benefits such as good grades, steady employment, and frequent promotions. Again, the Tiger Mom gets a lot of things right. Still, we could stand to be a little bit more vocal. I want to tell you a little story about a reticent Asian American and how reticent he could be. My father, John Woog, spent his entire life in a wheelchair. We never talked about it, and I never asked why he was in a wheelchair, because it just wasn't talked about in our family. Upon his death, though, he was buried at Arlington National Cemetery, and as it turns out, my father, who I had known my whole life, was shot in the first of the Normandy invasion and was a decorated military hero. And nobody, not my mother, not him, not any of my relatives, ever mentioned it. But it's that kind of stories that movies are made of, that they're tales of awe, that I'm sure, no offense to those in the audience, that a white father would have told his child, perhaps incessantly then story. He wouldn't have been bragging about it. He would probably have used it to put his son in his place whenever he complained about cleaning his room or driving his little brother to a soccer game. But it wouldn't have been a family secret like it was in our home. And as I said, though, those things are just not discussed in our homes. And in some cases, that's okay. But when we're trying to get ahead in our careers, reticence doesn't play. I'm not saying we should become braggarts, but we need to speak up. We need to take on leadership roles. We need to be those people who our colleagues turn to, not just when the work needs to get cranked out and done, but when they need a visionary, a leader who will inspire and bring about change. We do that by sitting at the table, by contributing whenever we can, by never turning down the opportunity for FaceTime with someone important. And trust me, that is not always easy. Case in point. When I was a young associate, I had to fill in for a partner on a day trip with a client for a chicken processing plant. Not only did I have to drive in the car with this man who never said a word, and I mean complete silence, for 3 hours to Mount Pleasant, but once we got there, Well, I don't know if you've ever smelled a chicken processing plant, but stomach churning is only the polite way to put it. But I took one for the team, and I got several hours of FaceTime, albeit completely silent FaceTime, with a client. I should add that to this day, he's one of my best clients. You also need to learn to take risks, reasonable risks, mind you, not stupid ones. You may fail at some of them, but I promise you will learn from these mistakes. If you never make a mistake, you're not trying anything new. And if you're not trying anything new, then you're not growing. So go ahead, stick your neck out occasionally. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Along those lines, don't put too big of a burden on your job for your life's happiness. Find a passion and pursue it. Don't have a passion? Then just be curious. Try new things, go new places, be open to adventure and knowledge, wherever it takes you. Be present in your life, and not just waiting for it to happen, whether it's making partners, snagging a big client, having a baby, or finding the perfect mate. Being passionate about something, and it doesn't have to be your day job, will add excitement and wonder and adventure to your life. In addition to passion, you need perseverance. Remember Lindsey Vonn, the alpine skier at the Winter Olympics? She came back from so many injuries that even she probably lost track of how many there were. So you're going to get injured. You may get laid off, you might not get the promotion you wanted, or you might have gotten a lousy raise, or maybe you're still looking for a job. Don't let those injuries keep you down and keep you off the slopes. You ice them down, you learn from them, and you get back on your skis. Now I need to talk to the woman in the audience, particularly the young woman, and I know this event is mostly for women, but I do see a couple men in the room, so forgive me. I'll talk to the ladies for a moment. You don't have to leave though, you can listen too. Ladies, one of the biggest problems I've observed in corporate America that's facing us today is the loss of talent. And that is the loss of talent is in us. We make up more than half of the college students, and we enter the workforce at equal or higher numbers than men do. But once we have children, too many of us stop working. Now I know a lot of that is not our fault. It's next to impossible to juggle a family with working long hours, and it's more than impossible if you're married to someone who isn't an equal partner in housework or parenting. And most companies have yet to figure out a truly effective way on how to make the workplaces more flexible and accommodate working parents' lifestyles. But here's the problem. Many women start pulling back long before they've even had children. Some of them start